Let's be real. You're seeing the headlines, the LinkedIn success stories, the overnight AI transformations. And meanwhile, you're staring at your overbooked calendar, whispering, "Am I already behind?" Now, maybe you've tested a chatbot here or tried a prompt there, but deep down, you're still on the edge, watching, waiting, worrying. Well, let me stop you right there because this moment matters. You are not behind, you are not late, and you are definitely not failing. You're doing something far more important than downloading the latest tool. You're becoming a technology enabled superpower. And that takes guts. Now, today's episode is your reality check and your reset because adopting AI isn't just tactical, it's deeply emotional. It's about identity, fear, control, and the courage to be a beginner again in a world that rewards speed. And while others chase shiny tools, we're going deeper. This is Small Business Big AI, the podcast where entrepreneurs become pioneers. Now, where we don't just survive disruption, we lead it. Hello, and welcome back, my fellow entrepreneurs and fierce builders. I'm Kim, your host and guide as you step into the next era of entrepreneurship, powered by courage, strategy, and smart tech. Now, this is where small business owners stop playing defense and start becoming technology-enabled superpowers. And today, we're getting raw about something most people won't admit. That knot in your stomach, that hesitation to go all in on AI. It's not about the tech. It's not even about time or money. It's about fear. It's about control. It's about trust. And you're not alone. Okay, listeners, it's July 22nd. And if you've been riding with us through our mindset and messaging, hot summer series, you know we've been tackling some uncomfortable truths head on. Now, last week, we hit you with that spicy truth. AI won't replace you, but someone using it will. And the week before, we challenged the myth of relentless hustle, proving that grit alone isn't enough anymore. Now, today we're building on that foundation by diving deep into the psychology of AI adoption. You see, most people think adopting AI is all about the tech or the tools or the algorithms. But the real barrier, it's often deeply emotional. It's fear. It's a perceived loss of control. And it's the comfort of habit, even when that habit is exhausting you. It's the anxiety that creeps in when the familiar ground beneath your business feels like it's shifting. And as always, I'm lucky to have my right-hand strategist, my resident truth teller and partner in podcast crime, Hal. He's here to keep me honest as always. Hey, welcome back, Hal. How are you holding up in this Florida oven today?
Kim, it's hotter than a brick fire ovens over at the lake known as Park Pizza and Brewing Company.
Oh my God, so true. But I love that place, especially the chicken and goat cheese pizza.
Exactly. But can we get back on topic, Kim? It's not time for lunch yet. I've just finished my juice.
Yeah, I know. All right, so let's get back to the episode. Anyway, let's get honest today, Hal, about what this hesitation really looks like. Now, the part most business podcasts, they won't even touch it. So it's not about the algorithm. It's not about the interface. It's not even about the tools at all. It's about you. It's about identity. It's about uncertainty. And it's about control. And if we don't name that out loud, we'll keep clinging to habits that exhaust us and systems that quietly bury our growth.
Exactly. That tech hesitation, that pause before you hit subscribe on a new AI tool or automate your first process, it's rarely about the money or functionality. It's about what it represents. It's about your role, your value, your safety. And more often than not, it's about fear.
Right. It's about fear. So let me introduce you to someone. So, to protect the innocent, we'll call him Mark. Now, Mark isn't some caricature. He's really real. He's a mashup of dozens, maybe hundreds of small business owners that we've coached or advised or heard from over the years. Now, Mark runs an insurance agency called Assured Futures. He's built it from scratch. It's local, it's personal, it's built on trust and legacy and meticulous service. Now, for years, he's done everything by hand: paper forms, phone follow ups, deep client relationships, carefully nurtured over time. And his team, oh my gosh, they are loyal, they're experienced, they're comfortable. And this isn't a broken business, but it is a vulnerable one.
Yep, rock solid on the outside, but resistant on the inside. Mark's systems are a bit like a classic car, beautiful, but outdated. You have to crank the windows and tune the radio with a pencil. There's love there, but no leverage.
Exactly, Hal. And then the rumbling started. AI in insurance, AI in underwriting, AI in customer service, in claims processing, in retention. Now, at first, Mark tuned it out. That's for the big guys, he said. That's not how we do business. But over time, the buzz turned into pressure, and other agencies were quietly getting faster, more nimble, more personalized using these tools. And Mark, he was overwhelmed, intrigued, but stuck. Now, his first reaction, it wasn't opportunity, it was dread. I mean, what if the AI makes a mistake, he said? What if I break something? Or what if my clients think that I'm outsourcing care to a robot?
And let's not gloss over this silent killer here: reputation risk. In insurance, one error doesn't just cost you a sale, it costs you trust. It stains your name. And Mark has built his entire brand on being dependable.
Exactly, Hal. Now, this wasn't just about upgrading a tool. It felt like betraying his own identity, his role as protector, his image as what they call a trusted advisor. And then there's the people side. Now, Mark's team, like I said, they're experienced, they're loyal, they're tight. They've been with him for years, and many are closer to retirement, really, than college. And they're not tech phobic, but they're not exactly waiting for the next big beta release either. So Mark hesitated. And while he hesitated, his competition didn't. Now, here's your gut check. If you're spending more time fighting with your inbox than growing your business, you're not leading, you're drowning. And AI won't save you unless you learn to use it like a weapon.
Let's not sugarcoat this. Comfort can cost you. That one more quarter of waiting might just be the gap your competitor needs to eat your lunch. Too many small businesses spend weeks choosing a tool, comparing pricing, reading reviews, and then never actually use it. Perfectionism kills progress.
And that's the trap Mark fell into. It wasn't laziness, it was love. Love for his business, love for his team, love for the way things have always worked. But love without adaptation, that's how legacy turns into liability, Hal.
Let me say this plainly. Mark didn't need to become a coder. He didn't need to fire his team and bring in bots. He needed to take one brave step toward becoming a technology enabled superpower. That's the shift.
So, what happened next? Well, we'll get there. But first, let's zoom out. Let's look at what this resistance really is. Now, it's not ignorance, it's not laziness, it's not incompetence. It's fear. And fear has layers. Coming up next, we'll unpack the psychology behind hesitation and introduce the exact framework that Mark and thousands like him can use to turn friction into forward motion. Because the business owner of the future isn't necessarily the smartest, isn't even the fastest. It's the one brave enough to act. Now, let me say that again. The business owner of the future is the one brave enough to take action. So stay with us. Join our growing community of small business owners who are using AI to transform their businesses. Subscribe and be part of the conversation. So, where does this hesitation really come from? Well, we're not talking about laziness here or a lack of intelligence. What we are talking about is something deeply human. Now, you built your business with grit, with long nights, sticky notes, and sheer willpower. You didn't become successful because you love software. You became successful because you love solving problems for people. So when someone says, just use AI, what it often sounds like is abandon the very system that made you who you are.
Exactly. That's where the fear kicks in. Because embracing the AI isn't just about changing tools, it's about changing identity. That's why it can feel disorientating, even threatening, especially when you spent years mastering a craft that now feels automatable.
So let's call it what it is: emotional friction. It's that feeling in your gut that says, if I try this and fail, I'll look foolish. Or if I hand this task to AI and it messes up, I'll lose trust. Or if I let go of control, I might lose relevance.
But Kim, let me push back for a second. Isn't it fair for business owners to be skeptical? Some of these AI tools do overpromise. Some platforms change weekly. Some startups vanish mid-subscription.
Oh, yeah, 100%, Hal. And I'm not here to sell snake oil. Skepticism is healthy, but paralysis, that's the problem. Being frozen by fear while the competition runs laps around you, that's what costs you time, trust, and territory. Now, that's why we talk micro actions and not moonshots. And just to be clear, when I say micro actions, not moonshots, I'm not throwing shade at the Moonshots podcast. I mean, I love what Peter Diamandis and his team are doing. But here's the thing, moonshots don't happen without movement. And that's why we talk micro actions, because those small, consistent steps, they're what make the moonshots possible, Hal. So let's shift gears. Let's move from hesitation to forward motion. Now, we've built a simple, powerful framework to help you process the fear and flip it into progress. Now, we call it the fear to action blueprint. Now, you don't need courage in bulk. You just need one brave nudge in the right direction.
Let's break it down. This is a 3-step mental rewire. Use it anytime you feel the tightness when someone says, "Hey, you should be using AI."
And hey, if you're on the road driving right now, or maybe in your office staring at a blinking cursor, don't overthink this. Just listen. Now pick one of these and commit to doing it today.
This is your 3-step mental rewire.
Step 1, identify where you're hesitating. Now be brutally honest. Where are you dragging your feet? Is it using ChatGPT to brainstorm content? Is it automating a simple workflow? Or is it just researching AI tools without your eyes glazing over?
This is where you move from vague overwhelm, AI is confusing, to clear friction. I'm avoiding using AI for social captions because I'm afraid it won't sound like me. Clarity gives you power. The clearer the target, the easier it is to hit.
And that moves us to step 2. Ask why emotionally, not logically. Now, forget rational justifications for a second. Get raw. What's the emotional root of that hesitation? Is it, what if I look stupid? Or what if I break something? What if this replaces me? Or what if I lose the personal touch that I've spent years building? This isn't about guilt, it's about grace. You can't rewire what you won't name.
There's also the black box factor. If AI makes a decision and you can't explain it, that leads to distrust for you and your team, especially when people start asking, well, what did the robot say?
Yeah, I've heard that a bit. Or worse, when it suggests something completely insane, Hal. Now, quick sidebar. Can we talk about how ChatGPT once wrote me a sales pitch in pirate voice because I accidentally left the tone set to quirky?
Oh, I remember that. Me hearties bundled your coverage today and walked the plank. Yeah, nothing says credibility like Blackbeard offering umbrella insurance.
Yeah, exactly. And that right there, that's part of the fear, and that's what we're talking about. Now, if I can't even prompt this thing correctly, am I even cut out for this? But here's the deal. AI isn't your replacement. It's your lever, your amplifier, your scaling sidekick. So that's how you step into being a what, Hal?
A technology-enabled superpower.
That's right. Step 3, choose one micro action. All right, this week's micro challenge is simple, low risk, and completely doable. Now spend just 15 minutes with a tool that you've been avoiding.
Don't overthink it. Don't try to optimize. Just play, explore. No risk, all growth.
So now that you've named the resistance and traced the root, you take one tiny low stakes action. Now, if your fear is looking foolish, spend 10 minutes searching beginner tutorials. Don't act, just observe right now. If your fear is breaking something, try an AI tool on a throwaway task, like draft a sample email or generate a test post. Now, if you fear irrelevance, ask the AI a question about your industry and start the dialogue even if it feels weird.
Don't automate your whole business this week. Just chip away at the fear. Progress doesn't come from perfection, it comes from movement, and movement builds momentum.
Now, every time you experiment with a tool, you're creating a new neural pathway, one that says that I'm capable, I can do this, I am adapting. Look, your hesitation doesn't mean you're falling behind. It means you're in the process of building bravery. You're standing at the edge of your next breakthrough. And all it takes is one brave, imperfect step.
Because the businesses that win in the AI era, they're not run by coders. They're led by people who were brave enough to be beginners.
All right, when we come back, we'll take this even deeper. We'll show you how one small micro action led Mark to shift everything and the simple question that helped him unlock his first real AI win.
Don't go anywhere.
Hey, quick sidebar before we keep going. If this episode has you nodding your head and thinking, okay, maybe I'm ready to try this AI thing, but you're still not sure how to start or how to get the AI to actually sound like you, well, that's exactly why I created the Impact Framework. It's not a list of prompts, it's a mindset, a method, a way to think strategically before you ever type a single word. Now, inside the course, I'll walk you through how to shape your AI conversations so they actually work for your business. Whether you're writing an email, drafting your About page, or just trying to get unstuck without going in circles. Because learning to prompt isn't just about words. It's about knowing what you want and leading with clarity. So if you're ready for AI to stop feeling like a threat and start acting like your most helpful teammate, check out my Impact Framework course. The link is in the show notes. Let's turn that hesitation into momentum. You've got this. So let's bring Mark back into the picture. Now remember, he was stuck, smart, experienced, respected, but paralyzed by fear, friction, and doubt. So what shifted? It wasn't a software demo. It wasn't some all-hands meeting with consultants and pie charts. It was a quiet Tuesday morning, coffee in hand, inbox overflowing. And Mark said to himself, let me just try one thing. Not revamp the whole business, not overhaul the client process, just one thing. He asked ChatGPT to draft a welcome email to new clients. That's it. He didn't even send it. He didn't even edit it. He just read it. And something clicked.
That tiny test gave him what fear had blocked: a glimpse of what was possible. It wasn't perfect, but it was fast. And frankly, it was good. And most importantly, he didn't break anything.
Exactly. And that was the click moment. Not because the AI was magic, but because Mark stopped being afraid to experiment. And that one micro win triggered the next. He then asked ChatGPT to rewrite the agency's voicemail script, then a birthday greeting email, then a referral thank you message. Now, each one was easier, faster, better, not because AI replaced his values, but because it amplified them.
And here's what I want every listener to take away from this. Mark just didn't use a tool. He reclaimed time. He lowered stress. He gained leverage. That's what it means to be and become a technology-enabled superpower. Not flashy dashboards, not corporate jargon, just quiet, consistent steps that give back your edge.
Now, if you want to replicate Mark's breakthrough, then start here. Ask yourself this one question. What's one repetitive task I'm doing manually, just out of habit or fear? Not because it's the best use of your time, not because it must be done by hand, but because it's comfortable. Now, that's your entry point.
Maybe it's writing every client follow-up from scratch. Maybe it's struggling with a blog post. Maybe it's manually sorting your inbox like it's still 2006. Pick one.
Then ask, if I gave this task to AI, what's the worst that could happen? And then, what's the best that could happen? Now, 9 times out of 10, the worst is really mild embarrassment. And the best, it could be a 10-hour per week freedom unlock.
Mark didn't gain a superpower overnight. He earned it one bold click at a time. And so can you.
So, coming up next, we'll wrap this up with the bold, empowering truth about what really separates AI literate leaders from those who get left behind, and your challenge of the week to start that transformation today. Now, you've got this, so stay with us. Ready to unlock the power of AI for your small business? Well, don't just listen. Become a small business Big AI insider. Subscribe and get ready to dominate. All right, my fellow entrepreneurs, we've unpacked the fear, named the friction, and shown you how to transmute hesitation into forward momentum. But before we boil it down, let's get radically honest. Now, the real gap between the businesses that thrive and the ones that quietly fade, it's not about being the smartest or the most technical or even the most well-funded. It's about one thing: courage.
Courage to question the familiar. Courage to look foolish while learning. Courage to lead, even when the path isn't perfectly mapped. As AI keeps accelerating, the advantage won't go to the biggest player. It'll go to the boldest one.
Now, you don't need a master's in machine learning, and you need to believe one thing: that you, yes, you, can become a technology-enabled superpower. And that belief gets built not in a moment of brilliance, but in a series of brave, consistent steps. So let's break it down. Here are today's key takeaways that embody that brave leap forward. Now, number one, acknowledge emotional friction. Now, your hesitation isn't a flaw, it's a sign you care. But care without action becomes stagnation.
Number 2, reframe fear as fuel. Fear isn't the problem, inaction is. Let your anxiety become a signal to explore, not avoid.
And number 3, embrace micro actions. Now, you don't need to automate everything by Friday. You just need to try something by Wednesday.
Number 4, cultivate courage and leadership. Real leaders don't wait until everything's safe. They take the first step and clear the path for others.
And that's it for today's episode of Small Business, Big AI. Thanks so much for tuning in.
All right, my insiders, here it is. This week's mission is simple, potent, and non-negotiable. Take one step into the AI arena. Not tomorrow, not when I have time, this week.
Now, find that task that you've been doing manually out of fear, out of habit, or just because it's how you've always done it.
Then hand it to a free AI tool. Watch what happens. No pressure, no audience, just you and the future of your business.
And we want to hear about it. Now, DM us or tag us on LinkedIn with your AI bravery move of the week. And maybe even use the hashtag AI Brave Move, and let's normalize imperfect, powerful progress.
Because every single entrepreneur who chooses bravery over hesitation moves us all forward.
And speaking of forward, next week's episode is a game changer. It's called The Rise of the Technology-Enabled Entrepreneur. Now, we'll map out exactly what this new breed of business owner looks like and how to become one without burning out or selling your soul to automation.
If this episode helped you shift your mindset, next week is where we show you how to build the machine.
Now, until next time, keep embracing change, keep innovating, and remember, the future of your business is bigger than you think. And the steps you take today will shape the legacy you build tomorrow. Now, I'm Kim.
And I'm Hal. And this has been Small Business, Big AI.
Thanks for listening. We'll catch you in the next episode.
That's a wrap.